Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers he plucks. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
This is Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, and relationships. This week, we'll be examining where social media belongs in your relationships. Enjoy the show.
Well, it's been 2 weeks, and we're back. We're here.
Our normal cadence now, thanks to COVID.
Yeah, every 2 weeks, which I like. Gives us a little bit of a break.
So much to talk about, actually, this week between your life and my life.
Well, then why don't we start with your life? What's going on with your life?
So I think we do the updates of has he spent the night and what's the saga with that
okay, hold
going
on. So wait. 2 weeks ago, he hadn't spent the night yet, had he?
He hadn't spent the night, and we had that whole issue about him talking to his parents and me not being able to wait 10 days after I see somebody to see him again, and then we worked on a compromise, and then all was solved. So this is what's happened since they've solved that problem.
Yeah, because
I guess
it was. I can't remember what was it. Did we completely solve it, or we only partially solved it?
No, we solved the problem. So we're good on.
It's just all we now. Like I know it's
everybody
it's not,
listening. We've
none
all
of us have anything to do
problem.
with it, but yeah, we. Okay.
So he has stayed the night a lot, actually, since that episode came out 2 weeks ago. So I want to say he's stayed over at least 4 or 5 times now in the span of 2 weeks. So it's like Friday night he'll stay over and Saturday night, and he's stayed over other nights too.
Wow.
I know, and it's actually been a really great thing for our relationship, I think. He stayed over and we've cooked dinner, and now that he's able to stay over later, we've cooked, I think, let's say instead of he's cooked.
Yeah, let's try not to say you cooked anything, okay?
I'd like to talk about us as a collective group, but let's be real.
Right.
He's the chef in the relationship. So we've had a couple dinners together, and then he stayed the night, and it was so cute. The one night, I think it was actually the first night that he stayed the night, we, speaking of his nickname, Master of None, we went to Whole Foods, and we picked up we picked up pizza, stuff to make pizza, and we made pizza that night. And he picked me up at my place and was all dressed up. I was like, why are you all fancy right now? You have your little glasses on, and normally wears like a band t-shirt.
You have your little glasses on? That is just
I like when he wears his glasses. I think they're cute.
I know, just the way you said you have your little glasses on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so we went to Whole Foods, and he kind of had his arm around me in the cheese. I was like, what's going on? Why is he? We were all like weirdly like lovey-dovey type in Whole Foods. And I just felt this really good vibe. And when we were cooking dinner, everything was good. And then that night he told me that he loves me.
Aww.
So we had like a cute little date night. And yeah, so we were just cuddling on my bed, and he told me that he loves me. I know.
And you immediately overreacted by kicking him out of bed and screaming in horror, or what happened?
I was like, what the fuck? Something's not right here. You need to leave. Yeah, that's clearly what I did.
I mean, I feel like that would be normal. Yeah, that would be pretty common for
something must be wrong.
Yeah.
But no, actually, it was the exact opposite is how I reacted, where I actually cried.
Aw.
I cried. I think it's because in the past, with people that I dated, they just have never loved me back. So it was a really big deal for me. And of course, before he said, I love you, he said, you do not have to say this back, but I just want to let you know that I love you. And I just immediately lost it. And of course I said,
this wasn't an I love you from like right as like an orgasm's happening, right?
No. Okay, we were literally just cuddling. No.
All right. Because we talked about the fact you can't trust anything that happens for like the minute. Yeah, exactly. The minute right around when a guy comes, like, yeah, you just can't trust any words that come out of their mouth. So, okay.
Yeah, no, this was before all of that, which actually made sex really difficult after because I was so emotional about it. And he's like trying to go down on me. And I was like, I just can't focus. I'm just so happy. I was like, let's cut this stuff.
Oh my
Let's
god.
pause. I was a mess. I was literally a mess. But since then, he's really stepped up being a boyfriend. And in ways that I just keep thanking him because I think I've just dated so many fucking garbage men in the past that
Sure.
wouldn't help me do the things that he's helped me with in the past week. So if you haven't followed along on my personal Instagram, I've had a roach problem and I found a cockroach in my bed literally the day after he spent the night. And
I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, right? We at
yeah,
least
but
we
it's
mentioned
still
that
an
it had been
issue.
it was really bad. That, like, yeah, you were finding roaches everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So the night that it was in my fucking bed and crawled into my pillowcase, it was
Right.
awful. And I started the process of that, I guess, was proof enough that I had a roach infestation and I was able to move. And so last week was just such a fucking whirlwind because had to transfer everything. I had a busy week with work and then he helped me move while I was working and came by and just moved everything to my new place, which I'm still in the same building, but I just moved a couple floors. And he's just really helped me with that and helped me, reorganize my place and set up some stuff and go shopping with me. And I just keep saying thank you. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Because I
Did
don't know what I would do.
did he buy some new stuff for your kitchen so you actually have the kitchen of a grown adult?
No, I bought the stuff for my kitchen because he was like, you have one knife and as he's like cooking in my kitchen. I think the last
Right.
time he cooked in my kitchen was when we had the brunch when we first started dating in April. And I had
Okay.
borrowed a lot of my friends' cooking
Oh, that's right.
utensils to
You
make
did
it
because you
seem
knew
like
you
I
didn't
had
have
my
anything.
shit. So it made it look like I had my shit together. And then he came to cook at my place 2 weeks ago, and I was like, the truth is out. I have nothing. It was a lie when you first started dating me. I can't cook. So
I think it might be one reason you and I get along so well is because we both eat so terribly. Like I at least
I don't
cook a
eat
little bit more,
terribly. I just don't
but
cook.
yeah,
I
you
can
do
make
eat
a
terribly.
salad. No,
Yeah,
I
but
eat
your salads are
salad.
like weird as shit. You like me, you make the weirdest fucking things, or you just eat
Okay,
shredded
this
cheese
is a
out of a
person
fucking
with
bag.
kids who lives off bacon. Okay. But yeah,
So yeah, and you moved into your new place, and of course, being the good friend that I am, and the supportive,
asshole that you are. Yes.
supportive partner
Dickhead that you are. Whatever I
supportive
can say.
partner for our podcast that I am, I got you a housewarming gift to your new apartment
Because you're a dick.
because I am a very generous, thoughtful person. Well, you didn't appreciate your gift, even though
No, and guys, if you haven't seen it, it's on our Instagram story at Dating Kinda Sucks. Actually, not story. I went live on Instagram and then
yeah,
I posted it as a video. He made me do an unwrapping video because, that's
because it had to, of course,
he
that's a,
called me literally the day that he saw the package drive. He's like, "Have you opened it? You can't open it unless you go live on Instagram." So I went live and it ended up being a fucking cockroach pillow, to which I was pretty fucking annoyed about.
yeah, it's
And
like a 2.5 foot long, like it's
so
fucking
it's going
huge.
in the trash can. It hasn't gone in the trash can yet. It's sitting on top of my trash can right now.
Giant roach pillow. I just thought it might be a nice body pillow for when Master of None isn't there. You could cuddle with it, and it'd just be a
Not
good
gonna happen.
memory, just of what you left behind. It's just I thought it was very very supportive of me.
And everyone else thought you were being a dick.
Well, everybody's always wrong about me.
But yeah, so besides the roaches and the I love yous and the new space, life's good. I mean, the roaches made shit terrible, but I think in the past week with all of this craziness going on with moving, I've laughed so much. I've hung out with him so many days now because he's helped me move, and he's just really been a good person to be around, and I love him, and things are good. So it's
Aw.
crazy, so crazy.
And I mean, it sounds like his parents now are just like, okay, whatever. Like as long as
Well,
you're
they're
just
not like
with the two of
whatever.
you. But I mean, like about the two of you. Like
Yes.
they've accepted that he's going to be inside your bubbles.
Always inside my bubble, yes. um, but yeah, eventually I'll get the chance to meet them. He did mention, sometime in the near future that'll be a thing. I'll go to dinner or have dinner at their house or something. So to be
Okay.
continued. But yeah, things are good.
Well, very nice. You probably have never seen this because I know you don't know a lot about pop culture, and it's also a little older. But there was this series of little clips that used to be on MTV that then actually became a full. I think they made it into a full movie with Jerry O'Connell or something, called Joe's Apartment. You ever heard of it?
Nope. Nope.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
it's actually about this guy Joe who lives in an apartment filled with roaches, and
Oh God.
yeah, the roaches are basically they're all smart asses, and they just like they help him try to get laid. Like they'll move shit around his apartment and everything. Yeah, it was the little clips were very funny. The movie was fucking awful. Like they're like, let's make a movie out of these little 10-second clips that people like, and then they just ruined it. But anyways, you've never heard of it, so it wouldn't matter.
Nope. Not friendly or trying to help me get
You
laid.
don't
They
know
were
that.
doing the
Did you
opposite.
did you talk to them? You don't know that. You
No,
just
because I
killed
was
them.
just trying
You
to fucking
drowned
kill
them.
them.
You stepped on them. You crushed them. You probably burned some alive. Like you probably microwaved them. Probably. Who knows what else you did?
If I had a microwave, see another thing in my kitchen I
What?
do not have. Yeah. My unit doesn't come with one, and I never heat up
God,
frozen stuff like that.
how are
So
you an adult? I just don't
conventional
understand.
oven. Yeah, I have an oven.
Yeah, but I mean, a microwave is good for quick things. No, that's insane, crazy. Well, it's good.
Anyways,
Sounds like it's been good.
things have been good. So I hear that you went on a date or something. You've been very quiet. I guess I've been going through a lot of shit lately that I really don't know what's been going on in your life, but I think you've been on a date or something.
Oh yeah, because I mean, we usually, we'll talk on FaceTime, 2, 3, 14 times a day.
Literally.
Um, but it's not usually about me. So I don't usually talk about what I'm doing.
Sorry, it's normally me venting about how much my life sucks.
That's okay. That's okay. Yes, I had been on two different dates with two different people in the last week. I went on Hinge again. I decided to restart a Hinge account and decided to just give it a shot and have had a really surprisingly high number of matches and success there. Like,
But it's because you recreated the account. So you
yeah.
deleted it and recreated it. Because don't you say that
Well,
they
no, they
always
banned
push
me.
your. Oh. Oh,
They
that's
banned me,
right.
so I had to start over. There was my only option. But what I
But they
found,
promote your account once you start a new
yes,
one, though.
when you're
So
brand
you're
new
getting.
on a lot of the sites, especially like I think Hinge and Bumble are probably two of the big ones, they're more likely to promote you to other newly active people and kind of their best candidates because they want you to enjoy your experience. And so that's why your first like week on there, you're going to have a lot more success than as time wears down. Because then Hinge kind of gives up on you. It's like, oh, you're not getting any matches, so nothing we can do now.
The algorithm's fucked, guys. Just delete
Yeah.
all your accounts and
So,
start over.
well, and sometimes too, it's good to start over because I've noticed that some of the like Bumble and Hinge both were two ones that they ask different questions now when you start a profile, and they build your profile a little differently than they did earlier when I first did it. So that way, maybe it's building it's changing the way that people are seeing your information as well. So, but it's been good. I think I have right now have matched with. I think it's like there's probably like maybe 40 people in there, which is good number, and I'm not conversing with all of them. Obviously, that's a
Yeah.
lot. But some of them the conversation died quickly, but there's a going well, and one was and actually the first date that I went out on was last week and went to Ale House, of course, because
Staple
you know
date
me, I'm
place.
a
Yes, yes.
unoriginal lazy piece of shit who doesn't really want to put too much effort in. So I just asked her to meet me there one afternoon or early evening, I guess.
And she
And
was fine with meeting you in person, not wearing a mask, or what was your COVID procedure for going on the date?
I asked her if she wanted to meet up, and she said yes.
How was it? You're not doing anything. You're not doing like any like screening beforehand or any of that.
Well, we chatted for a few days before we decided to try to meet up. What type of screening?
I don't know, like a virtual date or at least a short
You
little
know
phone
how I feel
call.
about virtual dates?
I know how you feel. I was just I'm just asking the question because some
Yeah,
people are still
I don't.
following the rules.
I won't even FaceTime with my fucking family. Like, like
You'll
virtual.
FaceTime with me though.
Yes, yes, I will with you. I guess the smart thing for me to do would be like, hey, so are you positive? Have you tested? You gotten tested? Are you sick? I mean, I guess I don't fucking know. Like honestly, for me, I go to a bar right now. I go to Ale House. I go downtown sometimes. I wear my mask, until I sit down at the bar, and then I have a drink, and whoever I'm sitting next to usually doesn't have
You're
their
gonna
mask
get
on
COVID
either.
from.
Well, it's, I'm like that, like
That's the case. I
the
mean,
risk increases because I'm sitting next to somebody usually. If I sit at a bar, so if I'm going out to somewhere like here to Ale House, I'm going to wear my mask until I go sit down and then take my mask off. And so like she wore a mask in and took her mask off. We sat and talked to each other. At the end of the date, she was like, "How are you feeling about hugs?" And I was like, "I'm in for a hug," and so gave her a hug, and that was it. Which let me say this about hugs, by the way. I want to say because I feel
oh
like
God.
no, like people are sometimes like it's like they're like scientists and they think, oh, hugs are going to transmit the disease. I did an event, a body paint event with some friends, and there was a friend there who wouldn't hug anybody, but when she was in and taking pictures, she had her mask off. And then she was wearing her mask for the rest of it. And I was thinking to myself, what do you think a hug does? Like, do you think there are orifices in our body that
You're just
transmit?
closer to that person. That's all.
You're closer to them with your face facing further away from them. Like you don't hug people face to face. It's not like you're hugging them like breathing in their mouth. You're hugging them with your head over their shoulder.
There's
And if
still
you're
risk
both wearing a
involved in that.
mask, no, there's actually no risk in
Oh
hugging.
my God. Are you a fucking doctor?
Are these people who don't want to hug doctors? No. And yeah, I have a doctorate, so
In fucking laws. Calm the fuck down. Don't even at me on
But-
that one. No.
but it just annoys me. It annoys me because it's like a hug in one way is a good intimacy. It's nice to have that little contact, but I also just you're not transmitting anything when you hug somebody. You're not breathing on them. You're breathing over their shoulder. It's very
I
different.
still think you should have sat further apart or kept, wearing a mask or
We
not
sat next
gone
to
on
each other
the
in
date.
bar and talked. Yeah,
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have done that. Nope,
no,
wouldn't have done that.
I know.
Didn't do that.
It
I
was,
think you take on a lot more risk than I think most people would on a first date. Because you don't do the screening of a virtual date because you don't like it. And then when you go on the date, you sit next to them at a bar, which increases your chance. I mean, yeah, in your mind, yeah, sure. Why not give a hug? I've already been in close contact with you for the past 2 hours, so fuck it, right?
well, exactly.
I mean, and that's exactly your mentality. I mean,
Right.
sure. Then fucking hug her, whatever.
Yeah, I did. It
Yeah.
was fun.
You wouldn't kiss her though, would you?
I mean, if it had reached that point, yeah, I would have. Why wouldn't I have?
Okay.
I mean, if I'm trying to date, I'm trying to date. I'm not trying to half-ass date. I just don't understand the point of that. Like, if I'm actually going to try to date somebody, I'm going to try to date them. And
We're still in the middle of a fucking pandemic, though. I mean, you could go
yeah,
slower
and
than
I have
you
put in
normally do.
plenty of precautions, and I very rarely leave my house. And when I do, like I said, I'm very careful until I sit down at the bar. I don't get up and walk around. I stay in my spot. Then I put my mask back on and leave. So it's not really like I just don't see the issue if sitting next to somebody. Like that's a minimal risk, and it's
I
worth
guess
it
you
for the
just don't know if they're
emotional connection.
asymptomatic or not.
No, I don't, but I can trust the whatever that they're going to take precautions for themselves as well. That's ideally how people should be. Is you take your own precautions, and if you're not feeling well, you don't go on a date. Obviously, and unless you're obviously the president, then you just infect everybody and don't tell
Just
anybody.
do
if
a
you're sick.
motorcade ride around and
Do a
just say fuck
motorcade
it all. Yeah.
in a hermetically sealed car that's protected from chemical weapons, so that way the whole inside of the car is them breathing all the same air. Yeah, see, like
Yeah.
that's not safe. Like if
Well,
she
at
said
least you're not president stupid, I guess.
if
So
she
there
said,
you go.
"Hey, I tested positive yesterday. Do you still want to go on this date?" I would say no. I mean,
Wow, look at that.
yeah. So, but I mean, she works from home. So she's not in an office. She's not like she doesn't go out very often. So like she's been just as secluded as I have basically.
Okay.
So I'm okay with that. I'm okay
If
with
you
taking
felt safe, then that's
minimal risk.
fine. I evaluated a little bit differently, but okay.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're you.
And what else can I say about that? Anyways, okay, so that date,
That was
gave
fun.
her a hug.
We met from Coffee Meets Bagel actually. That
Oh, okay.
which yeah. So that's might be the first person. No, maybe the second person I've actually ever gone out with from Coffee Meets Bagel.
I feel
So
like it's only been a handful for me in my dating lifetime.
yeah, it hasn't been too many, but it was nice, and she seems cool. She's very nerdy and quirky, and I French Canadian, which was interesting.
Okay.
And yeah, and really like enjoyed my time, enjoyed our conversation. She has a very like diverse group of interests, and she's when someone we have some overlapping interests, which is important, obviously. So we're gonna try to plan something for later on. It was funny that I was trying to schedule something to see when she wanted to maybe go out again, and she was very much very honest and transparent, which I appreciate. She was like, no, I got hit with an early period, and it's gonna knock me on my ass for like the next 5 days. So I'm just out. Like she goes, I can't do anything. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry if that's too much information. And I was like, no, I don't. I'm an adult. I don't care. I appreciate you telling.
Wait, early period?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
sorry.
just like a
Why did I think business related when you said the like an
oh like
early
a
period of what I don't know. My mind
an
went to
early,
work for a second there, and then I said it out loud. I was like, oh, period.
early
Just kidding.
tactical
Okay.
period. Yeah, yeah.
Got it. Got it.
And then on Hinge, I had matched with somebody, and we had just been chatting. Also French, which was weird. I know. I know.
What?
I don't know where that. Yeah, that was interesting and not on purpose. Just also French. But we've been chatting, and conversation was going well. And then on Saturday, I went Saturday. Yeah, what's today? Today is Monday. Yeah, Saturday. I went downtown and met her at iBar because I was going
Okay.
there. I was going there anyway. So I was going. I told her basically, hey, I'm planning on going downtown. If you're going out, because she hangs out at iBar as well. I was like, maybe I'll see you. So it was not a I mean it was a date, but it was also more of a just
Very
a
casual.
yeah, like hey, we're both going out to the same place. Why don't we at least say hi to each other? And so when I went out there, she was in there. We talked for maybe an hour and a half. There wasn't really that chemistry. She's actually seemed really cool. Very like very nice and friendly, and like her friends were there, and I met some of her friends, and that was fun. But like there just wasn't that kind of spark.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that was it was nice, and nothing bad came from it. And then I took him, and then I Ubered home. So and I've got another date tonight after we're done
Where are
recording.
you going? Ale house? Let me guess.
No, we're going to post time because they just restarted karaoke.
You're gonna do karaoke
Yeah, why wouldn't I do
on a
karaoke?
first date? Okay.
I mean, I might do karaoke. We're gonna go there and meet.
To watch and
Yeah,
talk and
she's someone who I put in the Facebook group, which if you're not in there, you should join. It's facebook.com/group/DKS podcast. But I put the screenshot where her first message was, your podcast is awesome. Like we matched on, she's from,
oh, that's okay. That's the
yeah,
girl.
she's from Tinder. We matched on Tinder. She messaged first, and that was her first message. And she listens to my true crime one, and
Gotcha.
yeah, and so we talked about that for a bit, and then she was like, "Yeah, I totally want to buy you a drink or something like that." She's very very forward, which is funny. She's a little bit younger too, and it's funny that she's very straightforward. And she is a pilot, so she can't drink all week because in the morning she's going to school for being a pilot, so she has to fly every morning, and they can't drink for 24 hours before they're gonna
Before a
fly.
flight?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
I think when they're students. But I said, well, I'm going to drink, but if you want to come out and like if you're willing, if you like, it's not you're not going to feel weird. And she's like, no, I won't feel weird. It'd be nice to meet. So we're gonna meet up after we're done recording.
Okay. I'm excited to hear how that one goes.
Yeah, and then I think I have one more scheduled tentatively. I know. I don't know what
Wait.
happened. Like,
So so with the first girl that you talked about at Ale House,
yes,
did you schedule, so you're still waiting to schedule after her period
you're right. After
is
she starts,
over. Okay. So that one's
yes.
to be
As she
determined.
said, she goes post exsanguination, which I was like, that
Well,
was
okay.
that was hilarious. Yeah, no, I like. She's very frank and very blunt, and I appreciate that. So yeah, so I would appreciate seeing her again. Like we sat at Ale House and had a conversation, and I would like to have another conversation with her. Like I think it's one of those things where yeah, that we had a spark, and is there more potentially? Have to kind of see,
Okay.
and yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then there's someone else also on Hinge I was talking to that we have we're gonna tentatively maybe do something at some point. So that's been going well too.
Well, damn. Look at
I know.
Adam
I
getting
don't know.
out there.
I go months without even looking at the dating apps, and I think I just get into a rut, and I've kind of finally been like, I need to start getting out there a little more. I need some more social interaction. It's been killing me, and I went through a hermit phase for so long. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you really you really haven't. It's been Sarah. What's your dating life like? Okay, I got nothing.
I got
And then
nothing. Yeah, basically, yeah.
that's
So
it.
yeah, it's we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know me. I don't really get excited about anything, so it's just
I know. I know.
just play it by ear. I can't control anything. I'll just whatever happens happens. And oh, there was one funny thing, and this is also something I put in the group. I don't know if you saw this. There was someone I was chatting with, and we were having a conversation, and the conversation kind of had died down a little bit. She mentioned it, and I was like, "Yeah, sometimes that happens on dating apps. I guess the next step is to maybe plan a meeting." And she said, "Or a video chat." And I said, yeah, I said, I really hate video chats. I was like, we even did an episode on why it's important to do that for virtual dating, and I still hate them. I was like, it's just one of those things you just can't read body language. You can't really, it's just such a weird thing to me. And that's all I said. I didn't say, no, I'm not going to do it. I just said, I don't like them. And she replied, and I don't actually have it pulled up. Do you have it pulled
You
up?
said I like to be able to read that in-person body language chemistry that never quite comes through on FaceTime. So yeah, you didn't say you don't like it. You just said that's true. I absolutely hate video chatting though. So I mean, that was a pretty
But I said that's true. That is true. I just hate it. I mean, it's okay if I'm just one of those things I don't like. It's like someone who says I hate talking on the phone doesn't mean they won't answer the phone. It just means they hate talking on the phone. So, and
they're
then
just
what did
gonna
she?
have to pull teeth to do it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I would have done it. But what did she say back? You have it pulled up, don't you?
She says, okay, well, then if you're not willing to be a gentleman and video chat with a lady, even though you're not a fan, then I will say goodbye. Tells me everything I need to know about you.
What did you think
So
about that?
I was like, oh, damn. Oh, damn.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. That came fast. But I think she's in a certain, I'm just reading into these messages. She seems like she's in that phase of dating apps where she just like, it's either fuck yes or fuck no. And I'm not dealing with anyone who's not like wanting to compromise and do whatever I want to do and whatever. So you sending any kind of negative vibe of, yeah, but I hate that is like, oh, well, fuck you then. Bye. Like
How dare I give my fucking opinion about something? I just,
yeah, but I've been there where I'm like, oh, then fine. If you don't want to, if you don't seem, if you would have not said I hate it though, or like, I don't know, you didn't give a
that,
full yes. That she was expecting a yes. So when you didn't
right.
give the yes, it was a oh well, then I know what I need to know about you. You don't, fuck you, bye, unmatch.
I would have said the next thing I would have said if she had asked about it instead of being a complete bitch monster in her response is I would have said that I would have been fine with a phone call. Or if you'd like to have a phone call, we don't have to. Do we have to video chat? Like I just don't, but I enjoy talking on the phone. And then if she really wanted a video chat, I would have done it. And so I replied back, and I said,
Oh,
uh,
you did
yeah,
before she unmatched you?
yeah. I replied back, and I said, I said, oh, I didn't mean to make you think that I'm not willing to do it. I'm willing to do it. I just don't like it. I said, I apologize if I gave you that impression. So that's what I said, and she unmatched me instead of after she read it.
Hmm.
So
Well, okay then.
yeah, I mean, at that point, I was like, oh well, then I dodged a bullet because
Yeah, but your conversation, I didn't know the context of your conversation was already dying out. So I
well, it
mean,
had that I had just gotten quiet for a day or so, and she just mentioned that
that's kind of a sign, though. It's like you check back in, and if you're not really feeling the vibes after that one check in, then you cut it off.
yeah, I mean, and in her case, she just decided to go full aggressive in the way she did it. I mean, the whole gentleman and lady thing is just also, by the way,
Yeah.
I read that and I was like, ooh, that just feels weird to me, like
How
gentleman
dare
lady,
you
like
not be a gentleman and FaceTime that lady?
yeah, I know. I'm like, is that what that is? Is that part of chivalry now? Is to FaceTime? Doth the gentleman want to FaceTime the lady? So
I don't know.
that's
I think I would have been a similar feeling as her, but I probably wouldn't have responded like that.
No, I mean, if someone says something that's negative, but I mean, I'm going to actually read their words and not bring along and project my own bullshit onto them. You try to read someone's words, especially because words in black and white it's hard to sometimes get context.
Yeah, but she
And
just pulled the context into that and said, well, you
she just
hate it,
projected
so
herself and said, "Oh, okay, well, you're not a gentleman now." That tells me everything I need to know about you.
I'm just reading the comments of here. People saying that she jumped the gun.
Yeah.
She basically hit you with the Willy Wonka. I said, "Good day, sir."
I said, "Good day, sir." Yeah. So that was interesting. That's the only bad experience I've had on the app so far.
Really?
Recently. I mean,
Okay.
in the past
I
we've
mean,
had plenty.
yeah, we've all had our bad.
But yeah,
experience.
it was still so it's been otherwise good, and so I'm sure in 2 weeks I'll have a bunch of rejections to report, or who knows? You
Or
never know.
you'll have a third, fourth date with somebody at this point, and
Yeah, maybe I'll have gotten laid. Yeah, you never know.
fuck, yeah, fuck. I always
Been
forget
too
about
long.
that.
You always forget about that. Fuck you.
Man, I went a week without having sex. I was like, wait, I'm so stressed. Why is this the case? I'm like, oh, I haven't had good dick in a while. And then I got good dick. No, it was
Yeah, you
fine.
got
I was
that good
feeling
dick.
good.
Oh, and I also last episode, I remember, I'm pretty sure I talked. Yes, I did. I talked about the fact that I had this crush on somebody that we went out. We actually met up. Do you remember me talking about this? That I'd known her for years, and we
Yes,
reconnected
yes,
randomly
yes.
when we were out,
Mhm.
and yeah, and we'd been chatting and conversing and everything, and then she got busy and got quiet for a bit, and so I just kind of let her be, and then I checked in with her like 3 or 4 days
Don't you make a
later.
drive up like an hour or so to meet her or something? No?
No, that's not. That's someone else that I've known for
Got it.
years and years. Yeah, she lives
Okay.
over in Port Orange, and that's still
That.
yeah. No, this is someone that she's local musician here, and
Okay. Yeah.
so I went and saw her play with her band in Lake Mary, and then we all went downtown together and had a really great time. But I was just texting with her, and well, and then she says, and this is the first time in all of our conversations, she says, "Oh yeah, I'm just headed over to my boyfriend's house to do something or other." Now, there has not been a single mention of her boyfriend, of
That no
anybody
comment.
else. She had a whole weekend where she was home alone because her ex took the kids by surprise, and she was Marie Kondoing her house, and so she and I were talking about it, and never once mentioned a boyfriend. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just sitting here, I'm reading a book right now," and we were just chatting the whole night,
Huh.
and then when I went to see her and her band play, and then she and I drove together all the way downtown. Never once did she mention a boyfriend in any capacity, which was really weird. And they've been dating for like 2 years now.
Really? Is that not
Yeah,
on her Facebook? Because
it's not. No.
this is the girl that she remembered something from an Instagram post back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, that was her. Yeah, she remembered something from yeah, and so
Huh.
like
But nothing on social media
nothing on
that
social media.
she's
She
in a
doesn't post
relationship.
anything with him ever, never, which
Huh.
will tie into our topic a
Yeah,
little better.
seriously.
And it was just kind of a shock and a surprise because I really would not have guessed. I wouldn't have guessed at all. She did not carry herself or talk about herself in any way that would have led me to believe that she was otherwise with somebody.
Hmm.
So, I have my own theories about that, and I think we should get into that after the break, probably, right?
Let's get back on these theories. Yes, after the break.
Okay, well, then we'll be right back.
Theories. What is Adam's theory regarding social media? We're back. Cliffhanger. What's happened?
The theme song here, the little
Theories.
song.
I don't know. Spooky season is upon us, guys. So,
Yes,
what's your
yes.
theory? Dun dun
When you
dun.
like when you live in my house, Halloween's all the time. So it's like October isn't a special time for it. It's all the time.
Mm,
Well, I mean, I have plenty of theories, but I want to get into where this topic came from. I saw this in a different group than ours, and I brought it into our group to see what everyone else thought of it. And it was about social media. What the original post was someone who said that she had a dilemma. I am dating someone I like. It's gotten quite serious in the last couple of months. So obviously they've been dating for several months now. He
okay.
wants to be on my social media. He is not my friend on social media, and I'm afraid of bringing him into that world.
Mm.
What do you all do? Is it normal for someone to want to be your social media friend? Does anyone else feel nervous that his mom could comment on any post he's tagged in? He seems like he wants that, but I feel very nervous about it all. I talked to his parents and they seem cool. My parents, it's another story, much more complicated. He told me he does not want to keep our relationship a secret. I can live with that, but I also don't want the world to know.
What?
And then, yeah. So, some
What
context.
kind of following does? I'm sorry. Should I ask questions about that or give you your
Well,
theories?
I mean,
Moment.
I'll give context on. I know her personal situation is a little different. She
Okay.
is not American. She lives in a culture that's a little bit casual dating is frowned upon, and I think they probably support arranged relationships.
Ah, okay.
And he doesn't care what his family is okay with it, but hers are very strict.
So it's like traditional versus non-traditional.
Kind of.
Kind of. Yeah.
But the reason that I wanted to get everyone's insight on this, and the reason, oh, hold on. Hey guys, I'm recording right now.
So shut the fuck up. They good?
Yeah,
Who was that?
Came in the door. They're just kidding. They were coming inside. The reason that I wanted to get input was because there were so many women in the comments that were like, "Oh yeah, I don't let my boyfriend be my friend on social media," or
What?
"Oh yeah," or "He's not my
Are you
Facebook
serious?
friend," or yeah, and
Just
like,
a friend? Just having them follow them on Instagram or
well, and that's I think
Snapchat or whatever?
they were talking a lot of this was posted on Facebook, so I think they were talking about Facebook a lot more than other social media.
Mhm.
But some of them were like, well, yeah, because he'll just get jealous, or he'll just get shitty, or he'll
Jealous
just
of what, girl?
he'll
What you
start saying
posted?
stuff, or yeah. That's the thing is, well, I don't blame them. What are they posting? It's probably, oh, who's this guy that's commenting on your photo, or who's this guy that heart reacted, or whatever. Like, and I could see, guys getting shitty about that if
So
they're
then he's
insecure.
possessive a little bit and
Right.
insecure. Like yeah.
So the red flag isn't, oh, I don't have him on social media because that's the better thing to do. The flag is you have a shitty person. Like, why are you with somebody who's not worthwhile? So anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think that brings up this whole topic of when do you introduce the person you're dating or seeing to your social media, and which social media is important. Which one, like, are there ones you're more careful with? And so yeah, let's talk about that, because I think you and I are kind of the mindset that who gives a fuck, like you, but we're also very public people about it.
That's true, and some people aren't. But if you're concerned about them following you, then I think the question is, what the fuck are you posting that would be concerning for them to follow you? I'm just thinking from an
Yeah.
Instagram standpoint, like, what are you posting? If they're concerned with you posting half naked photos on Instagram, then you guys probably shouldn't be a thing because I don't think you're gonna change that. That's like me with the
Should you change
podcast.
it?
I don't think you should.
No.
If you were doing it before and that you feel comfortable posting certain photos or certain whatever in captions, and then you start dating someone, you're like, oh well, maybe I shouldn't curse in my captions or post this down. Maybe I don't want him following me because he'll think differently of me. Then maybe you shouldn't date that person if that's gonna alter your whole because you are somewhat of what you post on social media. Maybe I'm just
Oh, yeah.
more real on social media, but that still is a persona of you of what you post online.
And I think that there's a big difference between posting your relationship status on Facebook, like doing the Facebook official, like that's one thing, and I understand that's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people prefer
Right.
not to do that. That's okay. Like that's fine, because if but there's something between that and just allowing them to access to your social media life. And if you are hiding that aspect of your life for some reason, then you're not being genuine, whether you're not being genuine online or you're not being genuine in person, or both. I mean, and I don't think that's healthy for anybody.
Yeah, especially I'm thinking back to the Facebook thing of, well, he'll be able to see what my parents are commenting and blah blah blah. Like if that's an issue and he's going to have an issue with people hearting your comments or whatever the fuck they're doing in your comment section and he's going to be mad about that, it might prompt a conversation of like, well, why is this blah blah blah. But if he's getting jealous over guys commenting on your post or whatever, then that's an issue and a conversation that needs to be had so you're on the same level of where each other's at. You're just already assuming he's going to be mad.
Right. You're already assuming it's going to be an issue. One commenter in our Facebook group said, she's like, I have to laugh because me and the guy I'm currently dating are not friends or followers of each other on social media. I've known him for most of my life, so there isn't anything for either of us to hide. We totally trust each other and have no secrets. For us, it's because it keeps it less complicated due to behaviors we may not exactly see eye to eye on. For example, I'm a free spirit and do not like to tell my significant other every move I make all day. He is kind of clingy when we used to be friends on social media. If I checked into a location, he would want to immediately talk about it, and for me, that made no sense.
So she
And
likes having that secrecy of not knowing everywhere she goes, because she would post on her Instagram story, oh, I went to this cafe and then I went to this place and then I went to this, and she likes that he doesn't know those things and she gets to bring them up on her own versus him bringing it up. Yeah.
I think so, and it's just weird to me. Like, then just tell him to stop being so fucking clingy. Like, that's the answer. Is to
Why?
say,
Yeah. Why can't he follow you then?
like, yeah, I mean, say, hey, I don't want to talk about every place that I go. Like, if you see that I go somewhere, great. But like, it's weird to me that someone's going to say, hey, this is someone that I'm sharing a bed with, someone that I'm sharing, intimacy with, that I'm sharing emotional, I'm being vulnerable with, and all these things. But I'm not going to let them see an aspect of my life that I let strangers see.
Right. Exactly.
Like that, or that I let my third grade best
Best
friend who I
friend.
haven't talked to in 25 years.
They know my life.
They can know my life better than this person that I supposedly am, into and committed to. And that every justification I've seen for that has been a shitty justification. It's like, well, my privacy is mine, or I just don't want someone to have all that access to me.
Then
And
don't
I'm like,
post it at all. Then just don't use
right.
social media. That what?
Yeah, then yeah, don't use social media. How about that? But refusing to have somebody be your friend on social media, and it is different. I think Facebook is one of those things where some people use Facebook purely for their family, and
Mhm.
if it's purely your family and nobody else, well, at what point does someone you're dating become your family? At what point do
Good.
you have to trust them to be able to share with your family and talk to your family? And I think that I don't know. It's so fucking weird to me, and it seems so unhealthy to me. It seems like they're just somebody who wants to be somebody else. They're like, oh well, I've got my alter ego online, and I don't want that person to see that because they might not like that. Well, then you're not being a genuine person with the person you're dating. Like, let
Yep.
them see.
Agreed.
Yeah, let them see who you are. If they don't like that, well, that's either their loss or maybe they can grow to like it.
That's like hiding the podcast from people that we date. Oh, I don't, whatever, because
Yeah,
that's just an aspect of, yes, it's not every part of my being, but it is a part of me that I enjoy doing. And I like posting on social media too. Like, I'm sure the people that don't want the person they're dating or significant other to see, that's still a part of your daily whatever. So why not share it with them? And if you can't, then you're not being true to who you are, and that's an issue.
yeah, yeah. It's
Mm.
it's it's interesting, and I find that it's people who are sometimes, usually the people that I find that are doing it are very sarcastic, strong women are the ones that in my experience who are saying no, that they don't want their person to be, because I think they end up dating men who are not strong, like men who can't handle them being this
That sounds
kind
right.
of sassy, sarcastic person online who's, kind of shit posting and being funny, and then flirting with the guys who comment on it and everything like that. But like, if you're dating someone who can't handle that, then move on, because like, who cares about that? Like, anytime I've dated anybody who had someone flirting with them online, it's always entertaining. Like, it's just, I find it funny. Like, I don't see how that can be a bad thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
um someone did say, he said, I understand the hesitation because I once dated a woman who I then friended on Facebook, and she was upset about the fact that I was still friends with my ex-wife, who is
On
the mother,
Facebook.
who is the mother of my children.
Oh God, it's so petty and
And
childish.
I
Who
was like,
fucking
okay, well, that's on
cares?
her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that has to do with her, and the woman, not with you. Like, you, especially if you're the mother of your children, you're gonna share social media. Like, it's unfortunate, but it's one of those things.
Yeah.
And it just, it's weird. And someone said, yeah, like, yeah, if they don't agree with their, their political stances or something like that, well, if you're dating somebody and you haven't talked about politics or religion,
And then you
or
see on Facebook or whatever, then you should have already talked about that. And don't blame social media for that. That's your poor communication skills.
Yeah, it's so bizarre, so bizarre. So but that's Facebook. So Facebook's one thing. Let's get into the other social media accounts, like Instagram, for example.
Okay.
Now, Instagram, I mean, you have two, right? Because you've got like you
The
and I
dating
have
kind of
Dating
sucks.
Kinda
And
Sucks,
then my
and then your
personal.
personal one. But it's not like you're going to prevent someone you date from following either of them, right?
Oh, why would I?
How early on would you let somebody follow your personal Instagram?
I mean, fuck, before I even start dating them. I've had people that I match with on dating apps follow me after I start talking about the podcast. They find that they follow the podcast and my personal one. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because
Yeah,
I don't want to hide anything. And if I have to hide the social media pages that I have, I mean, that's just
right.
going to be a problem down the road. So, I mean, as early as still being on the apps, I'll exchange whatever and follow them. And if it doesn't work out, then they normally either stay still follow me because they like the content, it just didn't work out for us, or they will unfollow me, and that's fine too. I don't care.
They do that whole creepy thing where they watch every one of your stories and they never respond in any way ever
Oh
again.
yeah, there's still
Yeah.
people that I went out with on dates and talked to on Tinder or Bumble or whatever the fuck app that still watch my Instagram stories. And it's funny because there's this one guy who's back in Florida who's married and has a kid now. We never went out on a date, but we were talking on the apps for a little bit. And he watches every single one of my stories. And I'm friends with him on Facebook too. And I'm like, good for him. He got married and had a kid. Good for you. Because 4 or 5 years ago, we were talking on fucking Tinder. And
Right,
I don't,
right.
we literally don't talk, but we both still follow each other's lives. And it's whatever. I don't have a problem with it. Neither does he.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, and that's how it really should be. Is it, what is it? Your social media life is different for everybody. Like everybody, some people treat it like, they can reinvent themselves and everything. It's not who they are in real life, or they share deeply vulnerable things in the form of, terrible quotes and memes that they get on, one of those Facebook pages or Instagram pages that just generate that bullshit all the time, and they feel like by sharing that they're actually substituting therapy, which they're not. So but they think they're being deep and they're not, and I think that's a big part of it. Is they feel like maybe they're exposing a vulnerable side
The
of
vulnerable
themselves,
part. Yep. Before
to
that
which
person's ready to see
to
that
which I say,
side.
yeah, to which I say, well, then, you should date people that you feel safe with, and if you don't feel safe with somebody, then you shouldn't date them like that. That's, I mean, all of these things stem with picking a person that you want to be comfortable with and you want to spend time with, and that you are happy to share your life with. If you aren't comfortable with that, how can you possibly be in a healthy relationship?
You can't.
Nah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's odd. The other thing with Instagram, by the way, I was going to say, and I forgot, was there are plenty of people I know that have that Finstagram that they have, like they have their kind of their second Instagram,
Yeah,
their
where
fake
they
one.
post really dumb memes and stupid
Dumb
shit.
memes, or yeah, they shit post, they do, whatever, like whatever it is. Some of them, they post thirst trap shit, like, and they boost their ego. But once again, if you're with somebody that you like, and wouldn't you want them to also boost your ego and be like, hey, that picture you posted was really hot, like,
Right, yeah.
that's what I mean, I would think that's part of
Hype
it.
man, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe it's just because I've been on social media since it existed in any form, and I've always been very public about it. But I invite people immediately. I mean, part of even chatting through the dating apps, I will send people my Instagram, for example, because it's important for them to
It
see
gives you
that.
a better picture of who that person is. I think that's why I'm
Yes.
so open to sharing it while I'm still talking to them on the apps, because there's only so many photos and so many pieces of our conversation I can actually get from the app, that seeing their profile. And it's funny because I think so many people that I've matched with, we follow each other on social media, and it's like, well, this is the stalking time, and you start stalking their stuff. You're like, oh, okay, they've been here. Oh, okay, cool. And you get a better picture of what they like to do, who they are, the types of friends they might have. And I don't know, I
Yeah.
just think it's better. Or even if they're not even, like my boyfriend, for example, he's really not even big on social media at all. I mean, yeah, sure, he checks my Instagram and he's on it, he follows certain accounts, but he doesn't have a lot of followers. He doesn't really post a lot, and that's fine too.
Right. Oh yeah,
But
that's okay if they're not on social media.
yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
But he still has photos in there that like when we started following each other that I looked at and was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, he's into this and this and yeah.
And sometimes he messages the dating kind of sucks thing and story, and every now one of these days I'm gonna reply.
What
I'm
the
gonna
fuck
reply
did he
back to him.
said that one
Uh,
time? Oh my
I don't
god.
know, but it was funny as hell, and I
And I
wish.
think he didn't realize you saw the comment too, because it
Yeah,
was kind of like sexual in a
it had
sexual
a
nature.
sexual connotation to it, and I
Yeah,
almost
and I was
replied
like,
back.
fuck, Adam saw that and he's probably dying laughing right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was hilarious. So.
Babe,
Uh,
don't do that. No more.
I I think that I send people my Instagram because I mean I do photography that is it's a little bit risque and it
It
has
definitely is. Yeah.
huh just
It
yeah just
definitely
a
is.
little bit
But
uh
you've also had people that you've shared your Instagram with. They've seen your photos and then gone, "You're not my, you're not my
yeah I
taste,
can't
whatever."
handle
And then
that yeah
yeah,
and that's
and
good God don't
yeah,
waste my time like if you look at that and you think I can't. I'm too insecure for that. I have trust issues or whatever. That's
okay,
fine.
that might not be the case, but
That's
okay.
100% the case. If you can't handle it,
Okay.
well, it is. I mean, and it's insecurity. I mean, that's what it comes from.
Or they just don't. I don't
If it
know.
was pictures of flowers, they wouldn't care. It's because it's women. They can't handle that because they start to think about it and they compare themselves to it, and it's all boils down to coming from insecurity, coming from a place of jealousy and insecurity. So and a lack of trust. So which is baggage from their past, and they just haven't managed to figure it out.
There's that rant. There's that Adam Heath rant that I love so much. Yep. Okay, carry on. Carry on.
So I send it out because I want someone to look at that and say, oh, they can appreciate what I do, and if they appreciate it, that's a plus. And
Mm.
I also, but I mean, I will send people. I mean, the podcasts, of course, they can listen to the podcast before the episode before we meet too. A lot of people, several of the people that I've been on dates with recently have all listened to the podcast. They've all been been listening, and I'll even send like a clip of my stand up. I'll post things. I'll show my Facebook. I don't care. Like this is all part of who I am. They're all different aspects, and I am the same. I and you and I are very different in the sense that we are very similar on social media as we are in real life. Like we don't really have a persona. We are pretty much the same person. I'm gonna say the
Yeah.
same shit person that I will post on Facebook, and so will you. So I think, and we do. I mean, when we do it on a fucking
Actually, I feel like
podcast.
I censor myself a little bit more in person because I normally be like, "Well, fuck this" and whatever, and I'm like, "Well, screw you, sir," and then
Screw
that's me.
you, sir.
Screw you. There's the accent again.
And then and when you start getting out of other social media things like like Snapchat and stuff like that, like it's just it all turns into if you don't have anything to hide, you shouldn't be worried about it. And if you're not hiding something, but you're worried that they're going to react badly to something that you like, they're going to see, then either you're behaving poorly on social media, like in a way that is inappropriate for someone who's dating somebody, or you're dating the wrong person. You're dating somebody who is not a good, let's say,
Not a good
has
fit for
issues.
you.
Yeah, not a good fit. And so either of those things would need to be corrected in some capacity.
There we go. That's it. I feel like we've said all we can about this one aspect of social media.
Yeah,
There's
I
so
mean,
many. There's so many more. This is just like dating
this,
wise. There's like a
yeah,
whole relationship end to this too. Of so many more parts come into play. Of what if you do this and not this? And I mean, I guess you touched on with Facebook saying, should you put a relationship status on social media and say you're in a relationship, or should you not, or does that even matter? Which we might have even touched on a million years ago too.
I think we've done it talked about it in the past. We talked about Facebook official, and I in my opinion, if you're with somebody, I don't know why you wouldn't. That, for example, that singer that I had the crush on, if she had had a public Facebook relationship status, didn't have to say who she's even in, just says she's in a relationship. That would have answered a lot of questions and would have very easily been solved some problems there.
So what
Uh,
about that theory that we left at a cliffhanger and never got
oh
back to?
yes, well my theory is that in a situation like hers, so she is in a relationship with somebody that she's been with 2 years, says she's quite happy, has I looked through, by the way. I went through and I started looking through past posts, and in the last 6 months,
He's not in anything.
I didn't see anything. Not a picture together, not even a mention of him. She uses Facebook to post about her gigs, and then occasionally like things that are happening in her life, but not, mostly about the gigs that she's performing. And that tells me that that's a weird relationship. There's something
What
there
about
where
Instagram? Did you check any of the other social platforms?
I don't. I think I'm following her on Instagram. I'm not actually 100% sure, but I could look that. Yeah, I could look and see. But she's also like closer to my age, so like it's not unusual for her to be using Facebook a lot as well. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
That's
as you
true.
start,
Yeah, you are
you know,
old. Yeah.
how I'm old, right? But I think that when someone posts constantly about their significant other on social media, that's a red flag. When someone's always like, "Oh, we're
Absolutely.
so happy. Oh, I'm so glad we're together. Oh, you're the sweetest person. Oh, I love this
Happy
person
two
so much."
months and 4 days, babe.
Yeah. When that happens, when that's being posted constantly over and over and over again, that's a
There's a
sign that things
problem.
are. Oh yeah, it's terrible at home. They are projecting to try to make things like they're trying to make everyone think that they're fine when they're absolutely not. And that's usually the type of person who has a new boyfriend or a new significant other every like 3 months. They have a new
Right.
one and they're
They
already
have something to prove to the world, but no one really gives a fuck. And we all know you're
exactly.
not happy.
And you should stop trying. Yes,
Yeah,
stop
you
trying
really
like
should.
that. Like try
Hmm.
to actually just maybe get out. That's someone who should not be on social media. They should just get off social media and try to be happy without trying to prove anything to the rest of the world. But I think the actual exact opposite's also true. When people never post anything about their other person, there's something off there, and I don't know what it is. I believe that it's something. There's something off. There's somebody is just either maybe it's an embarrassment thing. Maybe it's a
It could be
they
an
say
embarrassment thing, or they're scared
people
of.
say, well, my private life is my private life. But like if you're willing to post a picture of the fucking food you just made, like but you don't want to post a picture of the person that if they spent 2 years together, they arguably love each other. The
Right.
person that you love, you're not willing to like post a hey happy birthday sweetie like or like anything. Like it's so weird to me, and it feels to me like this tentative nature of somebody who doesn't want to necessarily 100% commit to someone. So this allows them to
They've
kind of
committed
do
in person,
this,
but not online.
yep, and not really sharing anything. I didn't look through his Facebook once I figured out who he was, but I wonder what he does too. And the other issue too is that it prevents people from pursuing them. It allows people to know like, hey, I'm with somebody, so just understand that.
Yeah, if you don't
And
post or say anything about that, people assume, like you did, that they don't have a boyfriend, so they're fair game to talk to and flirt with, and yeah, because she never even mentioned it in conversation, which is a whole other
well, that's a
issue.
whole other weird thing. Yeah, the fact that she never mentioned it at all, like I don't understand how it never came up. And when I said to her, I was like, oh, I didn't even realize you had a boyfriend. She goes, oh, I guess I didn't really. Yeah, like it just didn't even occur to her that that might be a
Mm.
conversation, which is just bizarre. So I don't know, but I feel like social media should be an extension to some degree of your life. It should
Yeah,
be like, and we know that you're going to post usually the high points and sometimes the low points, but you're not going to post everything. You're not going to show it's not 100% accurate picture of your life. But if you have somebody who's in your life,
you want to show them.
yeah, like have you not had any high points with them that are worth talking about? Like is it all low points or is it all medium points where everything is just kind of
Well, does she
cope?
post a lot of photos of herself in general? Because that's a whole nother thing of these people might just post photos of food and nature and whatever, and they never really take a selfie, let alone one with somebody else, and they don't feel comfortable doing that.
She doesn't, but I don't know. So that I
That
mean
could
that
be an element
that
too.
could be part
So
of it too. It's weird to me, but I do think that at least changing that Facebook relationship status to either not single is a useful thing to do, even if you don't want to. Everyone who's always like, well, everyone's going to get in my face, or they're gonna um. What people like? Oh, it's my privacy, my business, and I don't want people up in my business.
no
Uh,
one really cares that
yeah,
much
no one
about
gives a shit.
other
You're not
people's
that
lives,
important. I'm
honestly.
sorry. Yeah, like you're not that fucking special that anybody cares about your business. And if you have somebody who's gonna all of a sudden get up in your business about that, then maybe that person's not actually someone who should be your friend. Like maybe that's not
Agreed.
a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen both men and women say, well, then if we post about it, then they have an ex that comes out of the woodwork and starts accusing them of stuff, or attacking me, or trying to start shit. And I'm like, they can't start shit if there's no shit to start. Like like honestly, like you just ignore
Amen.
people.
Mm-hmm.
So it just it annoys me sometimes that people think that what's going on in their life
It's
is
so
is like
important.
is so important when it's not. And honestly, like
It's
it's
just a
more of just
conversation people pass by of like, oh, did you know so and so are in a
yeah,
relationship? Okay, cool, whatever. And then they shit talk over brunch or they don't, and then they
yeah.
really don't give a fuck about you and they talk about another subject, and that's the end of that, it's not a highlight of their life to know that you're in a relationship. It's not going to alter their life in any way.
I've also heard people say that, well, whenever you like go Facebook official, like it feels like the relationship always ends after that. Well, if going official,
I've literally said that.
yeah,
That the
and if
relationship
going
did end
official,
because it was a
yeah,
shit relationship. I
right, because
mean,
it was a
the
shit
end.
relationship.
Yep, the end.
Going if going Facebook official ends your relationship, then it wasn't meant to be. It probably ended because now that person was getting called out for maybe not being true to you or honest or who knows what. Maybe not being a legitimate person. Like it's crazy. I had somebody who was scheduled to get married. She has 2 kids with this guy. Never posts about him online at all. Eventually found out that he was a complete con artist who had like ripped off thousands of dollars. And yeah. And I just wonder if she had been posting about him on social media, maybe
Could have found out sooner.
stuff would have been like, hey, do you know this about him? Like, hey, did you know this? Like, and all this shit would have come out that maybe would have saved her some time and effort. But I don't know.
Damn.
I think social media is a positive. I think you have to use it carefully, and and you have to protect yourself. But I also think that hiding your significant other is not the way to do that. That's the wrong way to do that.
Agreed. I think for me personally, I've not been hiding Master of None, but I've been tiptoeing around how to best show him off, so to say, so to speak, on social media, because I want the first photo that we post to be a cute, gram-worthy pic, and I want
My eyes so
because
much at you. It's such ridiculous bullshit.
I don't know, I just want a good photo of us, and I don't know.
You take great photos of yourself all the time, and you've been with him now since what fucking March, and you
It's
haven't
been
been able to take a
almost
good
6 months,
photo
yeah.
together.
No, we just took one photo, our first photo together, literally 2 days ago.
Yeah. You've
I
never
don't
taken
know.
like I go out on a date sometimes and we're like around having drinks. I was like, hey, let's take a selfie. And
Well, it's
like
also
boom,
because he's not that active on social media and doesn't really take that many photos of himself. And I'm like, I feel like I'm the photo attention whore between
yeah,
the
I mean
two of
you're on
us
your
too.
stories all the time, and somehow he only finally started showing up. I didn't
Well,
think he existed, to be honest.
I
Like,
know you didn't think he existed. He
yeah.
clearly exists, but I don't know. I was making sure that his level of comfort he was cool with it. He's cool with me talking about the podcast. I don't know why I just got in my head about he'll probably get mad if I post a photo of him, but obviously that was not the case.
And
So
you understand that if someone were to get mad that you posted a
that's a
photo of him,
toxic thing. I know,
that's
but
bad.
these are problems that I've had in the past that I'm just trying to rip off the past traumas of my dating life. So now I'm past that. So we're good.
I dated somebody when she lived in San Francisco. Had a bunch of photos of us all tagged because we all went out. We took a bunch of photos everywhere we went, had a great time. And then one day I just looked at something. Someone commented on a photo, and I went and looked at it and realized that she had untagged herself from the photo. And then I went through and realized she'd untagged herself from every photo, and that's when it turned out that she had been kind of cheating and didn't want the dirty secret to come
People
out,
to know.
basically. Because then
Mhm.
this guy had added her on Facebook, and she didn't want my name to pop up at all. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's the chances are if someone doesn't want you on their social media, they're hiding something. That's really what it boils
I'm
down
not
to, I
hiding
think.
shit. I'm not
No,
hiding
no,
shit.
no. I know, but he's already following you on Instagram. He has been since since the beginning, anyways. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying that generally, if someone doesn't want you on social media, there's a reason. Like they're hiding something. Or they're hiding something about themselves, or you're a shitty person and they don't want you to overreact, basically. And
Hmm.
neither of those are healthy or good.
True. Okay, so other social media aspect. Say I'm in hypothetical, obviously this hasn't happened to me. Say, Vaster Vanun and I started dating. We just started dating, and then I post a photo, my profile photo suddenly changes to a photo of him and I, like a couple weeks after we first started dating, and become Facebook official. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's two things. If you guys became Facebook official, that's great. Like that is no big deal.
He doesn't have a Facebook, but let's
Okay.
pretend.
But people who change their Facebook profile photos to them with somebody else, I disagree with. And we had a big thread in our Facebook group about this. Everybody got very mad at me about this one.
Oh, great. Cool. I can get mad at you
not,
too.
You didn't even know about this, did you?
No, let's go. Let's go,
okay,
baby.
Okay. Everybody got very mad at me because I said that people who post a photo of them with a significant other as their Facebook profile photo, just as their profile photo, is a sign of codependency, clinginess, and insecurity.
For sure, say that.
Yes. And people went batshit insane over it and got very defensive. Oh yeah, they went very crazy, very, very
Are
angry.
you saying
like,
immediately when the relationship starts, or just in general?
just in general? It's
just
your
in
Facebook
general?
profile. It's your fucking Facebook profile photo.
No,
It's you.
see, this is where I
It's
disagree
your
with
account. It's not your account with somebody else. It's your account. Like, represent
But what
your
if
account.
But what if you've been dating for a couple years and you want to change your profile photo to a photo of you and your partner, and it's a cute photo? You can totally do that.
There are always going to be exceptions, but
So that's the
generally
exception.
speaking,
If it's
why
been
not
longer
just
than
post the photo of you and the significant other, the cute photo?
because they wanted it to be their profile picture because they liked it of
Because they
themselves.
have
too.
codependency and cleanness
I don't think that
issues.
equals
Yep.
codependency at all.
Absolutely.
So you're saying a wedding photo of me and a future husband, and I posted that as a profile photo, would be me
Wedding
being
photos probably an exception as long as
Okay,
it's not. No, I mean,
There is
there are always exceptions, and I'm not saying that every person who posts a photo with their significant other as their profile photo is needy and clingy.
That's literally
I'm
what you
saying
just said.
I'm
That's
saying
literally
I'm saying that it has a tendency like that has a potential. What I said in clarifying my original statement was that it gives breadcrumbs. It's like a breadcrumb. It's like we've talked about. If someone on a dating app starts off by saying, "Hey, beautiful," it doesn't immediately mean that they're objectifying and misogynistic and a piece of shit. It means that that's a breadcrumb that then if their next statement is, "You want to ride this dick," then you could
Then you answer yes. No.
then you right. Then you maybe have an answer of who they are. But if their next question is, "I really liked your photography," and blah blah blah, and then you just have a normal conversation, then that breadcrumb goes away. But you look at these breadcrumbs and you see, do they lead to a certain, type of person? And someone who has their profile photo with a significant other is has that tendency. There's the likelihood and you can start imagining, okay, well, that's one little clue that they could be very codependent.
No, if they have a Facebook account that's them and so-and-so's Facebook or social media account, that's a problem. But I think
that's
just
not a
posting
breadcrumb. That's an actual red flag. Like
that's a big fucking
that's
red
someone
flag,
who's codependent and someone who cheated. That's what that is right there. But yes, but I'm saying that just the photo alone can actually give you a hint that there might be something, and people just did not.
It's a problem. I don't think
I didn't say it was a problem. I said it just gives you a hint. And you know what? People are codependent. People are insecure. People are needy. People are clingy. Like that's the other thing too. Is everyone got defensive about it? But just own up to being clingy. Because like here's the other thing: if you post a profile photo every time you dye your beard a new color, and you have a professional quality photo posted every time you do it, then you're probably narcissistic and you like the attention. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly what that means. And so I'm okay with that. Like, so that's the funny thing to me is like, if someone tried to say that,
own up to it, then it's basically
someone tried to say that to me, and I was like, yeah, no shit, that's what that means. Like, obviously, like I post a new profile photo because I want people to like it. Like, why the fuck else wouldn't I post something? So
they want people to like their relationship, which is why they change it.
They want the approval of the relationship because they're codependent and clingy.
Or it's a good photo.
It might be. Then just post the fucking thing on your feed. Don't make it your profile photo. You making it the profile photo is that special step, that extra step that's actually more of a pain in the ass to do than just posting on your feed.
Not really. It's just one extra fucking click.
It's not.
I'm just saying this because I've literally changed my profile photo to me and my ex-boyfriend multiple times, and I don't think. Oh my god, fuck you. I don't think it was
that you loved him and he didn't say back.
No, this guy did say he loved me. But I didn't see it was like I didn't think I was codependent in our relationship or anything like that. I thought we had a normal fucking
Everybody
relationship.
gets so defensive about this, but it's just to own the fact that there's
Because
some
I didn't think there was anything behind it. I was like, look, I like the photo of us. I like us, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I know.
post the photo. I don't
And like
think
I said, there are occasional exceptions, absolutely, but a lot of times it's a one clue, and it doesn't mean that it might be the wrong clue, but sometimes it just gives a little clue. And then if someone posts in certain ways and says certain things, and you can be like, okay, yeah, that leads to codependency. But everyone's actions on social media all paint like a small picture of them,
yeah.
and it'll get there if you just look at everything as a big picture. But people went crazy. Like one person was like, I have a picture with my dog. Does that mean that I'm codependent towards my dog? And I was like, I don't know. Are you fucking your dog? Because if you're fucking your dog, that makes it's your significant other. Because that was my actual post, was your significant other. But it's still better, honestly, than people who post pictures of their fucking stupid kids as their profile photo. Like, nobody wants to see just your goddamn kid as your profile photo. It's weird having an argument about politics or something with somebody who's like just a picture of like a 10-year-old boy as their profile photo. Because I want to know whose face I want to punch, and it's not your kid. It's not your stupid kid. I probably want to punch your kid in the face at some point if he's growing up with you and I'm arguing with that person, then I probably will want to punch your kid too. But at any rate,
so no kids, no dogs. Just post yourself is what Adam's saying, because anything else means you're a fucking weirdo. So
I mean, you're everything.
Or
I'm just
post
saying,
yourself and be narcissistic. You really can't fucking win, can you?
or you just be aware that everything you do on social media shows an aspect of your personality. That's all it is. Like people who post purely an animated photo or something instead of their profile photo means they probably have some self-esteem issues, which is okay. Like it's okay to
They just
admit
like
that.
the photo. Maybe they don't have self-esteem issues. I think you're looking way too far into it. It's a
Everybody kept
photo.
saying
It's
that, but
fucking
no, I'm
Facebook.
not. I think
It is what it is.
it's just reading behavior in a social media capacity, and that you just
Okay, fucking Dr. Adam Heath Avitable, who's not a
if I could do
psychologist
research on this,
either.
I absolutely would. I know, but I believe in this because I think that everybody's actions on social media give clues into their personality. They really do.
I don't disagree with that. I just think this one's a reach for me.
Or,
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, sure.
A photo's a photo.
Uh-huh. Sure. That's why you haven't posted a photo with him yet, because you guys can't get a perfect one. A photo is just a photo.
Hey, go fuck yourself. Okay, sure, fine. It's because I feel extra pressure from the podcast that I want a good first photo of us to be posted on social media. I don't know.
Okay.
Plus, we don't go anywhere that's like worthy of taking a photo. We're mostly fucking in my bed and hanging out at my house. So, what photo do you want from me, people? I don't know.
Supposed to be the naked body, the naked paint thing. Like
That
there was
won't happen. That's not gonna happen. This is like to my family and close friends. I mean, I'm not trying to get that. They already can't meet him. That's beside the point. Anyways.
All right. So on our takeaway is that social media should be a part of your life, and if someone's going to be a part of your life, then they should be a part of your social media.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And if not, then either the person's not right for you, or you're not being true to yourself, and you're not being genuine. Those are the main two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And if you disagree, and if you want to yell at me about the profile photo thing more, then feel free. You can email us at datingkindofsuckspodcast@gmail.com, or yell in the Facebook group at facebook.com/podcast. Yeah.
Or, we might even post this as a question on our Instagram. We did another question yesterday about can you date someone with your ex's name on Instagram at Dating Kinda Sucks. So we should just fucking post that one too and get people to yell on there as well. You can also follow us on our personal Twitter accounts and our personal Instagrams as well. If you are listening on iTunes, feel free to go over there and give us a 5-star rating and review. It really does help us out. So it just takes a minute. If you've already listened this far, why not just do that? And what else can they do, Adam?
They can support us on Patreon for $5 a month at patreon.com/DKS podcast.
And you can watch us on YouTube if you're not already at youtube.com/DKS podcast. Dating Kinda Sucks. I am the worst.
YouTube.com/.
I asked you to do this.
YouTube.com/Dating Kinda Sucks. You can actually watch us instead of listen to us, and you get the unedited versions because unlike Sarah, I don't edit anything. I just splice the two clips together and throw it up on YouTube.
And that's that.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode. So thank you for listening.
Until next time.
Dating kinda sucks.